Germany, even if you don't go to museums, you cannot escape the past of both Berlin and what Germany did. You know, there are monuments scattered throughout the city, prominent monuments. They're memorializing what Germany did to millions of Jewish people and millions of other people around the world. You see it, you understand it, they talk about it. You know, they teach their kids about it. They teach children in school. They're like, hey, this is what Germany did. They make sure they know. But they don't make them feel guilty about it, which is a pretty amazing balance for them to strike, you know. They'll say to the kids, they're like, hey, kids, I hope you understand. Germany did this. You're not responsible because you weren't there. However, because you're the future of Germany, it's your responsibility to make sure this doesn't happen again. You know what I loved about being in Germany when they were talking about their histories, is how forthright they are about it. You know, they know it's painful, they know that it's a terrible blight on who they are, but they don't hide from it. Like when I saw them doing this, I was like, man, I wish America did this with history. You know? However, it's just going to be a great time. I was like, yeah, I want to know what the great time is going to be about. He's like, dude, don't ask questions. I should have asked questions. Because we had fun, but the trip, like, there were a few things that were weird that I wouldn't necessarily do on my own. For instance, on the third day of the trip, right, we had what was planned, what was built in our itinerary as an authentic Balinese experience, right? That's what they called it, an authentic Balinese experience. And what they did was, they woke us up at 5 a.m., put us in a little bus, and we drove for like 3 hours. And when we got there, get out of the bus, we're like in the middle of it, it's like a remote village, and the little tour guide, really happy, way too happy for that time, and he's just like, welcome everybody, are you ready for a good time? And I'm like, yay. And so he's like, my name is Deng Basan, and I'm going to be your guide. Today, you will have an authentic Balinese experience. So exciting, follow me. And so we follow him, and he walks up to a little door, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is gonna be like a temple or a cave or something. And he's like, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the real Bali. And he opens the door into somebody's house. This is not a museum house, this is just a house. Like someone lives there every single day. He opens the door, and he's like, this is the home of someone in Bali. He eats here. He sleeps here. I'm like, does he know we're here? Because, like, we didn't knock. Nobody answered the door. For all I know, we're breaking and entering right now. We're in some weird Balinese gang. I don't know how this works. And as I'm about to ask the question, he turns and he's like, over here, you can see the owner of the house. He's in the corner. And we turn and there's a man the whole time. He was just sitting there, frozen stiff. And now I'm like, is this guy part of this? I don't know if we should be doing this or should not be doing this. And Deng Basan turns to him, he starts speaking to him in Balinese. He's like, he's like, okay, you can touch anything. And so I'm like, oh no, I don't think we should. Before I can even finish, the people in our tour group were like, yeah, touch it all. Oh my God, touch it all. Oh my God, does he sleep here? Oh wow, is this where he eats? Oh my God, I could never do this. Oh my God, excuse me, thank you so much for having us. Oh my God, I appreciate my life so much more right now. Thank you so much, this is horrible. Can we take a selfie? Thank you, are you on Instagram? I'll just put hashtag the man, thank you, oh my God. So I'm really awkward right now, right? Because this is like something culturally I'm not supposed to be doing. Right? As an African person, I should not be in somebody's house rummaging through their life. So I'm standing in the corner, really uncomfortable. And the owner of the house, he's really accommodating, he's friendly. You know, he's like, yes, thank you, enjoy, thank you. And then he turns and he looks at me. And this was one of the most magical moments, right? Because he was smiling at everyone else, and his face completely changed when he turned. He's all hospitable. He's like, yes, thank you. And with his eyes, he proceeded to have the most in-depth conversation with me that I've ever had. And it's not like the eyes conversation was new to me. Like, you can have an eyes conversation with anyone you have a connection with. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it could be somebody of the same race when you're in public. It could be like a husband and wife. Like, wives are really good at having eyes conversations. They'll shit on you hard. Like you'll be in public together, and then you'll say something off. You'll be like, oh, if only she did that, and she'll be like, oh hell no, I cannot believe you said all of. But it's just eyes. I cannot believe you said all of that. Wait until the next. Oh, you want to air our dirty laundry out in public? Oh, you're gonna see how this is gonna end up. Oh, you say this and enjoy this moment right now, because you know it's over. And you're like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. All with eyes, right? That's what he did to me. Because 1 minute he's smiling at everybody, and then he turns and he looks at me, and just with these eyes, he was like, what are you doing here? And so with my eyes, I was like, hey, man, I'm sorry. I didn't know this was your house. They said it was an authentic experience. That's why I came. He's like, yeah, authentic for white people. You got your own poor. Go back to where you came from. I said, yeah, I shouldn't be here, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. So I left. I go outside. About 15 minutes later, everyone's done with their poverty porn, so they come and join me. And Deng Basan follows the crowd, and he's having a blast. You can tell, he walks out, and he's like, everybody have a great time. I know you enjoyed that. Now, it's time for a special surprise. Follow me, everybody, to the back. And he takes us to the back of the house, right? Where there's this area that they've laid out, where clearly they have some sort of performance. There's a stage, there's raked seating, and he tells us to find our seats, and so we all sit down. And there's people from all over the world in our tour groups. Myself, my American friends, you got some British people, there's a French family, a dad and his son, they sit next to me. And so I sit in the front row, and Deng Basan comes back out, and all of a sudden he's wearing like a giant Balinese headdress, looking really beautiful, And he looks at us and he's like, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for an authentic Balinese experience? Please welcome the snakes of Bali. I'm like, the what? I'm like, oh, he said snakes. The snakes of Bali. And I look, and there's snakes. There's a group of men gathering snakes to bring out to us. And so I'm like, oh yeah, no, I don't, no. No, because you see, as a black person, culturally, I'm trying to not die. So I take all my stuff, I start packing it. And the French guy turns to me and he's like, my friend, where are you going? The show is starting. I said, yeah, no, the guy said the snake's coming, so I'm gonna move. I'm gonna go to the back. He's like, you're moving because of the snake? I said, yeah. He said, why are you moving for the snake, my friend? Are you afraid of a snake? I said, yeah. That's exactly what I am. I'm afraid of the snakes. He's like, such a big man, but you're afraid of a snake? I said, yeah, with a big brain. That's why I'm afraid. It's a snake. Like, you're not gonna trick me into not being afraid of a snake. Like, my toxic masculinity is not so high that I'll be like, yeah, you know what, man? Come on, snakey. Come on. It's a snake. Instead of just letting it go, this guy turns, he's like, I cannot believe it, a big man like this. Hey, Jean-Pierre. He turns to his son. He's like, Jean-Pierre, monsieur le droit de ici, le serpent, parce que ici, le pardon ici, and this kid's like, ha, 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 snake, snake. And he's like, oui, snake. Are you afraid? Snake. What is this? It's a snake. Snake. And these two carry on for like 15 seconds non-stop. Right? Just back and forth. Snake the whole time. He's like, snake, are you scared? Snake. I'm like, whatever, man. You guys lost all your wars. So I go to the back. Right? I don't have time for this. Because there's snakes. So I go to the back, take all my stuff, and I climb up, and I'm sitting at the top, right? Because I want to see the show. I just don't want to be a part of it. Okay? And so I've got my stuff, and I move all the way up to the top, and I sit there. And as I get there, the show starts, and Deng Basan's really excited, and he's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your first performer, the powerful Python." And dude comes out with a giant python wrapped around him, right? And this guy had this cool trick where the python would squeeze him really tight, super tight, so tight you could almost hear his bones cracking, right? And then he'd make a sound. He'd be like, "Eh." And the snake would let go. And then it would start squeezing him again, and he'd be like, "Eh." And the snake would let go. And it would squeeze him again, and he'd make the same sound. He'd be like, "Eh." And the snake would let go. And I was like, wow, this is dope. This is cool. Yeah, they're in a consensual relationship. I like this. This is, And so he leaves with the snake. The next performer comes out, and this guy had a green mamba with him, right? And so Deng Basan is like, "Ladies and gentlemen, the green mamba!" And this guy comes out, and he had a cool trick where he took the lid off the basket, and the green mamba would come out, and then it would start doing like a little move, and then someone would play music, And then the snake charmer would dance with the snake. And they'd do the same moves. It was dope. It was like a Justin Timberlake video, just the two of them. Okay? Like back and forth. I was like, oh, that was dope. And the snake goes back in. And then Deng Basan came out one final time. And he's like, now, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the final part of the show? Please welcome the King Cobra. And the final performer comes out with the cobra. Puts the snake down. This is the lid. Snake comes out. And I don't know what it was about this snake, but you could feel the energy change. Like, they were all snakes, but the snake looked mean. You know? Like, it looked like it hated life. There was something about it. Like the snake looked like it had a mortgage. Because it looked at us, and then it fixed its eyes on the charmer. And he was really cool and calm. He didn't even look at the snake. He addressed us. He was like, ladies and gentlemen, they say the cobra can strike faster than a man can blink. But can a man move faster than the snake can think? And I'm like, ooh. I don't know what that means, but I'm in. Because it sounds like a dumb Instagram quote, but I'm in. And this guy had the most amazing trick. What he did was, he got right up close to the snake, right? And he'd put his hands behind his back. And then he would make it seem like he was going to kiss the snake. And the snake would be no further than like a foot from his face. And then he would make this sound, like a kissing sound. And as he made the sound, the snake would try to bite him, and then he'd move out of the way. I've never seen anything like it. So he leaned in, and he's like, come on, snake. Too slow, Snakey. Try again. No love for you, my friend. Come on, Snakey. And all of us are enthralled. Every single one of us. No one's making a sound, no one's moving. And he does it over and over again. And then, to take it to the next level, he closes his eyes, pouts his lips. And I guess at this point, the snake was probably like, oh, I think I figured this out. This dude's gonna make the sound, and then he's gonna move. But if I bite before the sound, I can change everyone's lives. Because that's exactly what the snake does. The guy closes his eyes, pouts his lips. Before he can make the sound, the snake strikes him, pa, bam, hits him on the mouth, right? Cuts his lip open, blood goes spraying everywhere. Now, that should be the end of the story. That should be the craziest part of the story. No, this is the middle. The snake hits him on the mouth, the blood goes spraying. This guy jumps back and then acts like he didn't just get bitten by a snake. Which makes us think we're crazy, because we all saw it. Everyone in the audience was like, oh, and then he jumps back. And he just like shakes it off. You know what he did? He did that thing. You know that thing that people do where like you get their hand jammed in a car door or something? Like, you know, like it slams and it'll be like, and then people will just be like, He did that, but with a snake. So the snake hits him, the blood sprays, and he jumps back and he's like, Don't worry, we're fine. Don't worry. Don't worry, everybody, we're fine. Relax, relax, we're fine, we're fine, we're fine. But we weren't fine. You know how we know this? Because his face started melting on the one side, right? So his face starts melting, his lips starts turning blue, and he goes back to do his kiss trick again, but he can't even stand, and then he looks at the snake looks at him, and he's like, okay, show is done, good night, everybody, goodbye, good night. He runs off. And all of us are just like, what the hell just happened, right? He runs off. I have questions in my head. I'm like, is he gonna be okay? Do we get our money back? How does this work? And then we turn back and we realize he's forgotten his snake. And you know what the worst thing was? Is it seemed like the snake realized the same thing at the same time. Because the snake also watched him leave. And then as we turned back, the snake was also like, oh, shit. And so now, it's just us and the snake. And mind you, there's no barrier, right? There's no concrete, there's no glass, there's nothing. It's an authentic Balinese experience. So we're all staring at the snake is staring at us. And then one genius decided now would be the perfect time to get an Instagram picture. And I don't know if it was the camera, the sound, or the flash. All I heard was click, and the snake jumped up and was like, and we were all like, ah! And then it was chaos. Pandemonium ensued. Now don't forget, I was at the back, so I just jumped over. I was like, haha, being black saved me. I was out. Panic ensued. Everyone jumps up. People are trying to scramble, like trampling over each other. The French guy was my favorite because he jumps up and he's like, Sacre bleu! Le serpent! Le serpent! Allez, Jean-Pierre, allez! And he's pushing the people and he's running. He's like, allez, Jean-Pierre, Jean-Pierre! And when he turns, his son hasn't moved, right? So little Jean-Pierre is planted to the spot, terrified. And you see his face, he's like, Papa! 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 He's like, Jean-Pierre, allez, Jean-Pierre, allez, mon ami. He's like, Papa! Papa! And so the dad realizes he's got to go back in and save his kid, right? But now this is one of those moments where I think you can see the fundamental difference between mothers and fathers, right? Because a mother would run in without thinking and she'd be like, I will die for my child. Strike me now, snake, right? That's moms. Dads will also save their kid, but in the back of their head, you know the dad is thinking, yo, I'm going to save my kid, but I don't want to die. I mean, I don't want to die because this dumbass didn't know to run when his dad was running. I mean, there's a snake, and I start running. Why wouldn't you run at the same time? Now I got to die for your dumbass, which makes no sense because I can make another one of you. You can't make another one of me. I should just make you a brother, and we can mourn your dumbass death together. I don't even know why we're doing this right now. I think that's what the dad was thinking, right? Because he didn't fully commit. Instead, he tried to sneak in behind his kid. And then he grabs the back of his hoodie and yanks him to safety. So now little Jean-Pierre is choking in the ground. He's like, and he finally gets him to the side. And another snake charmer comes running out, grabs the snake, puts it in the sack. And finally, danger's averted. Everybody's safe. Everyone is safe, but terrified. Some people are crying, others are in shock. I'm standing on the side watching all of this. Little Jean-Pierre's there with his dad. They're both in tears. He's like, désolé, mon ami. Désolé, Jean-Pierre, désolé. And he's like, Papa, le trou de léger le poids de le joie. Le poids de... And I don't speak French, but I know this kid was like, you asshole, you left me. I'm gonna tell mom. And so I'm staring at them. And I guess they could feel that I was staring. So they both stopped at the same time. And they turned and looked at me, and I looked at them. And in that moment, I realized we're all human beings. We'll experience the same thing. We went through the same trauma. No matter what happened to us before, we're all human beings. Because they looked at me, and I could see in their eyes what they'd just experienced, what I'd experienced. And in that pause, I bent down, and I got real close to them, and I was like, Snake! That's how racism starts. But you know what? It was worth it. Yeah, it was worth it. It's cool. It's cool. I just don't like the fact that they never let you know when something's gone wrong. It freaks me out because they trained to keep you calm no matter what's going on. And I noticed this because we hit turbulence. Coming into Joburg, there were hectic storms and the plane started shaking and it wasn't like the calm turbulence. You know, that turbulence where people, the knuckles get white when they're holding their, and because people try and act natural in the plane, they'll be like, and then they get to a point where they're like, when that point comes, and like everyone is panicking, except the air hostesses. They're amazing. I love how they do it, Like you'll hit the turbulence, and be like, things are falling, the bags are hitting the sides of the compartments. People are panicking, and except they just move through naturally. It's freaky. It's almost like their lower half is not connected to the upper body, because they'll just carry on. They'll be like, yes, you guys. Would you guys like some coffee? Yeah, okay. There you go. Be careful, it's hot. Thank you. Right then. Anything for you, sir? Yeah, okay. Okay then, just pass me a apple juice. All right, thank you very much. There you go. Would you like some ice? No ice, thank you. You know how they do it. then the pilot has the nerve to come on in the middle of the biggest storm ever. The plane is shaking, the wings are tilting slightly upwards. You think you're gonna die. It's like people are screaming. Ladies and gentlemen, we've encountered some slight turbulence. We'll ask that everyone return to their seats at this point and refrain from using the lavatories. Please note we will be flying at a high altitude to try and alleviate the problem. Also, keep your seatbelts fastened and no hot drinks will be served at this time for your safety. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you in a moment once we've gotten out of this bumpy patch. Speak to you in a moment. That moment might never come. He doesn't tell you this. When the nationwide flight lost an engine, the pilot said nothing. It just fell. Quiet. I don't want a pilot like that. I want someone who lets me know. I want to know before I'm going to die. I want to know. I want to say a prayer or two. I want to prepare myself, you know? I want to forgive everyone that I hate in the world. Give me a chance. Give me a chance. But they don't, pilots. No, they don't. I bet people who die in plane crashes don't even know they've died. Must be the worst feeling in the world. There's like a whole bunch of confused people popping into heaven like... I swear these airports change all the time. I never know where to go. I'm like, are we in heaven? Oh, wow, I can't believe we made it, hey? I can't believe, wow, this is amazing. And there's St. Peter at the gates, and he's like, come forward, please, come forward. Come forward. She's like, here you are. I'm St. Peter. How about you? Yeah, I know, many of people are shocked. Just come. I get that all the time. Just come. No, I just thought that, no, don't worry, just come, please. Just wait till you see Jesus. Come. I don't want that. I want someone to let me know when I'm gonna die. Like taxi drivers. There's no person who dies in a taxi not knowing that they've died. Just before the crash, taxi driver will be like, yo! People walking into heaven like, yo, dead. Dead. Yeah, no, Shonile, we're dead. Gone. Ay. They know. Sometimes they survive the crash, but they still think they did. Walking on the pavement, dead. No, dead. Taking place all over the world. In Austria, in Australia, in England. That was what Brexit was all about. Right? They made it seem like it was about the economy, but it wasn't. The truth was, it was fundamentally people who wanted their country back. It never went anywhere, but they still wanted it back. I saw people on the news talking to the BBC. That's why I'm voting for Brexit. That's why I'm voting for Brexit, right? Because this bloody country is going to the dogs, right? This bloody country, and I want Britain back. That's why we're voting for Brexit, because we want Britain back. From who? From who? Britain is like 95% white. Who do you want it back from? People saying the weirdest things, the craziest things. These bloody immigrants, they come over here, they're up to no good, right? I hate these bloody immigrants, they need to go back to where they came from. But why do you hate them so much? I'll tell you why I hate them. I'll tell you why, right? Because they're not even trying to be British. That's why. They don't even try to be British, right? They come here, they bring their own bloody culture, right? They bring their own food, speak their own bloody languages, try to take over the whole bloody place. Well, that sounds British to me. I mean...